I don't make videos like this often, but sometimes I'll notice behavior from this community that just compels me to want to sit you down and tell you how proud I am of you. I don't say that enough, and it's because I don't like to farm parasocial relationships online. I think it's unhealthy. I don't want anyone out there getting the idea that I'm their best friend or their cool uncle who will buy you alcohol and let you smoke weed at Thanksgiving. I'm just a little homunculus who makes some goofy videos, and that's it. But it's hard not to say how much you all mean to me, especially when you guys do some shit like you did 2 weeks ago during our impromptu charity stream. 2 weeks ago, I made that video about a streamer named Gimpy God. His real name's Lance Carr. He is a quadriplegic streamer whose entire house burnt down last year on stream, and he and his family lost everything. And it just been a year of just financial problems as well as health problems for that whole family. So we decided to do a charity stream, hoping to raise enough money so that the family could afford the adaptive equipment in the household in order to improve Lance's quality of life, because that equipment is extremely expensive and insurance wasn't covering it. So on stream, the total that was raised by the community was $47,000, which to me is mind blowing because this wasn't like a pre-announced stream or anything. Like, we just did it on a random day and a lot of people showed up to support, and it means the world to me and obviously to the entire Carr family. And I wanted to give you a little update on how that money's been used so far. Lance has been giving me frequent updates. They've now been able to move into a house again for the first time since theirs burnt down. And thanks to the donations, they've even been able to afford the lift, so that way Lance can actually take a bath. So here's a picture of the lift that was installed in their home just recently. This isn't the whole lift. I believe it's on a track system, so this thing's like a pretty big piece of tech, and it alone comes out to about 30 grand in installation fees and everything like that. So it's all very expensive equipment, but it's super important because he hasn't been able to bathe properly since the house burnt down. So he went a year with just sponge baths, and thanks to all of you, he now has that lift so that way he can properly get clean. So I don't know, I just find it all extremely special to see the community come together and just do something great for someone who absolutely deserves it. So this is me blowing you some wet sloppy kisses for just how generous you were to Lance and his whole family. But this video isn't just about that. This is just a giant, big, warm hug from old Grandpappy Charles here, just as a big thank you just for all of the support recently. I fully understand that words like this probably don't carry much weight with most people anymore, since every YouTuber ever says shit like this. It's a massive cliche. But it also just is the truth. I haven't been able to think of a new way of reinventing this wheel or pioneering the new meta in showing a genuine appreciation. So all I can do is just say it to you and hope you believe me. And I'm not just talking about like views or anything. I've always just made content because it's a lot of fun to make the content. I'm talking about like the actual reception to it and how supportive you guys have been on that. I feel like a lot of times people forget that there's an actual human being on the other end of the content they watch. So when you're leaving a comment, whether it's positive or negative, there's a good chance the creator sees it. Usually the negative ones stick with them more than the positive ones, at least for me personally. I'll read some mean shit and be like, damn, that was a deep cut. This guy just gave me that Naruto 1,000 years of pain with that comment. Or like, damn, that Reddit post just fucking lit me on fire and cooked my ass on the grill. Point is, I do see the shit, and most creators do as well. No matter how much they pretend they don't, the whole point of posting content is to share it, right? So seeing the response is like one of the most important parts of the sharing process. So when I see shit like that, like, I'm always really appreciative of just how sweet that this community's been. Of course, there's always going to be negative shit, and I think that's important. I think having criticism and negative takes on some things is important because it helps you grow, learn more about the shit, and all of that. I'm just saying, in general, recently, the support has just been fucking amazing overall. Not just on like the general content and videos, but also just the bigger projects. Like, it's still indescribable to queue into a random Rocket League game and see someone on the other team using a Moist Esports skin. That shit is mind-blowing. Feels like I've entered an alternate dimension. Like, just these bigger projects and wackier ideas that I'm never really sure how you'll respond to, you're always super supportive of and sweet about. You know, I make content because it's fun, but it's even more fun when people also enjoy it. Like Tummy Time, for example, is something I was super nervous about. I'm one of the worst chefs of all time. I am the salmonella savant. If I'm cooking something in the kitchen, there's a 90% chance it's coming with a foodborne illness. I am the butcher of botulism, the E. coli crusader. And I thought it'd be fun to do a stream cooking show with guests where we make some absolutely horrifying abominations. And I wasn't sure who'd want to watch an incompetent buffoon like me try and whip some shit up in the kitchen, but the streams have been going really well and people seem to really enjoy it, which of course just makes the experience much better. Having fun doing something and then seeing people also enjoying it with you is just, it's just amazing. And not to get too sappy and keep going on and on, it's just recently, as of the last few months, I've just been feeling like everyone's been extremely supportive on a level I've never really seen before, and I just wanted to give like an overall, like very broad, huge thank you to just all of you. And then really, that's just about it. So yeah.